Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Fix. Today I'm going to be doing my review of Boom, the Ghostbusters figure Egon, the slime version by Hasbro. Now I got lucky, I found him at an Ollie's for $5 and that's one hell of a deal on any action figure. So the second I saw him there, I was like, dude, I got to snap this up. So I'm really excited to see what Hasbro did with this figure. So the first thing I want to mention is the factor that I do have a membership program. So for $2 a month, you get a lot of really cool stuff like blooper reels, behind the scenes, and I'm going to be adding more to it as well. So without any further ado, roll that intro. Here he is in the box. So he has the standard Ghostbuster packaging to him. So up in the corner, that Slimer indicates that he does have glow-in-the-dark slime on him. So that's going to be interesting to take a look at. You got the Ghostbusters logo. You got this window here where you can see him, all his accessories. You have the Ghostbuster logo down here where it's slimed, his name, age restriction, and Hasbro. Come around to this side. Shows all 4 Ghostbusters, which is part of this wave. And come around here. You got the slimed Ghostbusters logo. You got the sticker here that indicates that he's a glow-in-the-dark. All 4 figures that are part of this wave. A little bit about him. And you're legal. Come around to this side. You kind of have like a blueprint style look of the Proton Pack. All right, come around here. Got the top of the box, which looks slimed. And then underneath, you got your legal and SKU. So with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. Here he is, out of packaging. The first thing we're going to do with him is we're going to go through his points of articulation. So the head does move. You got a shoulder joint with a swivel, an elbow joint, and a wrist joint. Okay. Get this other arm up. You do have a joint here at the hips. You do have a thigh joint with a swivel. All right. You got a knee joint. A little bit tight, but it is there. And you do have an ankle joint. All right. Get them back into a standing position. All right. So now let's take a look at his finer details. So like always, let's start with the head sculpt. I do like the head sculpt on him. I do feel like it looks very much like Egon or Harold Ramis in this incident. I like the detail. I like the slime splattered on the side of his head. You know, it gives it that whole he got slime look. All right. And now when you get down into his outfit, you do have the Spengler tag on his side there. I do like that. He has all his little pieces of equipment and stuff on his belt. Plus, you know, the glow-in-the-dark slime. And we're going to see how much that really glows when we get into the next segment. Come around here. You see he has a little radio here. Bring the arm down. So now you can also see the Ghostbuster logo. All right. Come around to the back. You can see the back end of the hose that connects to his leg. We'll come around here. You can see some more equipment. The hose. Drop the arm down so you can see the detailing in the arm as well. And back around to the front. So overall, he isn't that bad of a looking figure. I do like the overall look to him. Now let's start getting into his accessories. So first off, he comes with a Proton Pack. All right. I do like the detail to it. It doesn't look that bad. You know, you got the slime on that as well. And you bring it up and you can actually see the neutron wand. It's a little bit bent. but it is there. Little bit of detail to it. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more detail on this, but for what I paid for it, I can't complain. All right. And then, of course, he comes with the particle beam. All right. So let's see how well all this works with him. So this side unbuttons, and it's supposed to go around his arm and his head eventually. All right. There's a peg in the back, so it connects in there really nice. Get this on him. All right, so that closes up very nicely on him. Then you could take your wand. Okay. And now he has the proton pack on him. It fits very nicely. No issues there. All right. Now let's get the wand into his hands. Now, usually these Hasbro figures have pretty flexible hands, so you can usually get stuff into their hands pretty easily. 9 out of 10 times. So we got to just work that into his hand somehow, some way. Boom. There we go. All right. And now let's bend this elbow here. The elbows are a little bit stiff, so you may want to use a little bit of heat on them. But I'm not having any super problems with them. What I am having an issue with is getting this wand to line up with his hands. All right. So this is right now sort of posing a bit of a problem because it doesn't want to go into the hands. It's really fighting me on this. All right, there we go. So try to get these fingers around it. That's what I'm having a problem with, is getting the fingers around the wand. All right, so I finally got the wand in his hands. Unfortunately, I had to do it off screen just because it was just a bunch of tedious lining things up, trying to get the hands just right. So instead of you guys sitting here for like 10, 15 minutes watching me do this, it was just better to do it off screen. But as you can see, I was able to get it into his hands. It don't fit perfectly in there. I would have liked it to fit a little bit better in his hands, but it does fit. So now we get our beam here, hook that onto the tip, and now it's busting time. All right, so you could get them to try to hold it, but the hands want to come off. So it's kind of awkward trying to get them into a real, throwing position, but it does connect. Everything hooks on. I'm sure if you play around with them for a little bit, you can get them into a really cool position to where it looks like he's actually shooting the particle beam. We're going to see how well the glow-in-the-dark features work on him. I did let him sit in the light for a couple of minutes, so all the glow-in-the-dark stuff can really absorb some light. So let's see how this works. Give me 1 second. All right, so the glow features do work on him. So you get this really neat glow effect on the wand. I do like that. I like how all the slime really does pop on him. Come around to the back here. You can sort of see the slime on the pack as well. Might have just a little bit too much light in here for that. But it all does work. It does glow like it's supposed to. All right, so let's get into my final thoughts with him. So first off, all his joints move very well. No issues there. Okay. His accessories, I do like the way how the pack comes on him, where it slides over the arm and head, and then you have one piece that fastens it together. I think that's a pretty decent way of connecting the pack, though I did have some problems getting the wand into his hands. I had to play around with it a little bit off screen to finally get it into this pose. So it is doable. It's just a little bit of a pain in the rear. Now the glow feature, I did like that. It did work well. You know, you could see all the slime and everything glowing on them. So I think that's a nice touch. And I do like the overall look to them. So would I recommend this figure? Yes, I would. For the price that you get him, he's not a bad figure. I mean, yes, I got this one at Ollie's, but even trying to get them new, I think they're like 15, maybe 20 bucks. So that's not a bad price for what you get. Though I do want to say one thing. I just wish he would have came with a couple more accessories. Like I would have liked to have seen him come with a trap and definitely the PKE meter. I mean, Egon is known for having the PKE meter, so they should have at least gave him that as well. So with that being said, the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to everybody who supports this channel. First on that list is Byron Bassett and his alter ego, Humongous. He does a lot for the channel, and he's a big supporter of the channel as well. He has his own YouTube channel and show that he does every Sunday. So go ahead and check out his information in the description. Next on that list is Action Figure Geeks. They're a Reddit channel that I'm part of. They also support the channel, and their information is also in the description. And most of all, I want to thank everybody who watches, shares, likes, and saves, and all that stuff. You guys are really appreciated. I really do appreciate all of you. So the next thing I want to ask you guys to do is check out my Ghostbusters playlist and my membership program. Plus, hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So, into the next one. Late.